Welcome back, everybody. Part 2. Okay, so now pretty much we just have to toast the bread and prepare the sandwich. So what we're going to do first is get this going. We want to make sure we get this to a nice even temperature. And again, the motto is low and slow. That is the tempo. So we're going to get this going. That's a good thing. Then what I'm going to start with is my bread. I'm going to toast it real fast. I want to be able to spend my time with the bacon. Oh, and something I forgot, tongs. Tongs are great just for grabbing, flipping the bacon. I've got my tongs, got everything set up here. I'm going to get started toasting the bread. And then I've got my bacon right here. So, things should be good. Melanie actually taught me a trick, which I didn't know about, because I'm going to use 6 strips of bacon. 3 strips for my sandwich, 3 strips for hers. What I didn't know is a lot of times, you lay the entire bacon piece out. Actually, these might be able to go all the way through. So we'll see. But you can always cut the bacon in half. And then what happens is when you cut the bacon in half, you make sure you don't have those ends that, I don't know, they don't really get cooked fully through. So, this is a good way to make sure that doesn't happen. Typically, I would work on this burner here. And I have here my splatter guard. What that does is when the bacon starts to sizzle, I don't want to get everything all messy. So you just put this over the top and it blocks it all from that happening. Starting to get warm. I can smell the bread going. So these are all good things. And again, we have everything in its place, ready to go. And that's what you always want is, have everything ready to go. It just makes it a lot easier. It's a lot easier for a cleanup again. And I don't know. When I was younger, I would just kind of run with it and fly by the seat of my pants. I'd be like, all right, here we go. This is what I'm going to do. And then things would get burnt and they wouldn't taste as well. This way you make sure that you avoid a lot of that conflict and, problems. Let's see. I think we're at a good point. I have a non-stick pan. It's much bigger. A lot of times I would use a cast iron. It just imparts, it really heats all the way through, but it's much smaller than this. So we're going to be using this. And keep an eye on the bread. We don't want that to burn. Again, there's lots of components when it comes to making even just a BLT. Just to make sure you do it right. Yep, this bread looks like it's ready to flip. Close this up. And let's try a piece of bacon on there. Let's see, one. Not ready. But we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, I can actually do these in full. But I think I am going to take Melanie's cue. So what I'll need now is my tongs, because you don't want to get your hands in there and burn yourself. So I'm going to wait a bit till this heats up a little bit more. And the good thing about bacon is you don't need, especially on a non-stick pan like this, bacon has enough grease that it typically doesn't stick. So you don't really need olive oil or butter or anything like that. Alright, let me check on my bread. Pardon me. Remember, cover. Okay, those pieces look ready to go, so we'll put in our next pieces. Alright, so I've got my scissors here. And we've got one piece of bacon. I'm going to cut it in half. There we go. That is the sound we like to hear. So that's one piece. 2. 3. 4. I have to adjust them later. 5. And 6. I'll wash my hands real fast. Let that bacon get started. Let everything do its work. I'm not going as low and slow as I usually do. But I got my tongs. I'm going to push this stuff around. Actually, this does seem to be about the right temperature. And now it all fits in one pan. So Melanie's advice has done us well here. Alright, now we wait. We want all this fat to render down. And again, we want that nice, kind of dark looking bacon. We don't want to overdo it though. Now, I've only used a bit of my bacon, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the rest of this. Alright, I think I've got some allergies from something. And I'm going to put it in here. And I can put this in the fridge and save the rest of it for a later date. I've got a little bit of the juices on my hands, so I'm going to want to wash that off. Again, I'm big on cleanliness. Oh man, but you gotta look at that. That is some wonderful bacon. Let's put the splatter guard over there. I'm going to turn this on medium, so if I talk louder, it's only so that I can be heard over this. I'm going to check on the bread. It's starting to look good. Spilled a little bit of juice here, so what I'm going to do, move my bread out of the way. Spray that down. Because as we know, chemicals and food do not mix. But we also don't want to leave salmonella or anything like that on our station. Alright, now we're cleaned up, we can move our bread back. Throw that in the garbage. See how we're doing with our bacon. I'm going to give it a flip now. See how everything's doing. Yeah, it's starting to get some nice golden color. Yeah, it looks good. And we want to flip each piece. Now the stuff in the middle is actually cooking a lot faster. So what I'm going to do is take some of these pieces, move them over, bring in some of these bigger pieces, and move them towards the middle. We want everything cooked as evenly as possible. Check on the bread. The bread is nice and toasted. The bread is done. I'm going to switch this over. And this is where we're going to set our bacon when it's finished. Because you want to make sure that you render off some of that grease. You know, you get a big pocket of grease, and it just kind of ruins the whole sandwich. And we don't want that. Let's put our splatter guard on here. And what I can do here is set my bread up. A little further away from that plant. And then I can start actually putting on that blue cheese sauce that we got. That smells good. Let me check my bacon again. Oh, it's looking nice. We're going to flip it again in a second. First, let's just put a little splatter. 1, 2, 3, 4. Go back and just make sure that we even it out a little bit. So Melanie said she didn't want a lot of this. So I'll take the one with a lot more of it. I want a lot of it. And what we're going to do is we're going to take this and just spread it around with the back of the spoon. Yum, 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 yum. Spread it around with the back of the spoon. Oh, I never turned this off. Ooh, we should also unplug it. Alright, so after this one, I'm going to flip the bacon again. And then I'll return to my process of spreading this around. Alright. There we go. Alright, it's bacon time. More bacon time. See what we're looking like. I bet this piece is darker. Yep. So this one should stay on that side. There we go. Now we're going to move stuff around again. Move this stuff out there. Really give this stuff a chance to get cooked. Put this other stuff on the outside. There we go. Oh, so this is going to need more. But they're getting smaller and smaller, as you can see. They start to get small. You don't actually want to take it off the heat. So what happens then is that you lose all that momentum that you had going in. Right now, so for Melanie's sandwich, I'm going to spread this in. Nice blue cheese flavor. A little bit of lemon, a little bit of salt, a little bit of pepper. Hers looks barren compared to mine. Alright, so she might not like this, but I'm putting more on. There we go. That looks a lot more even. Alright, so we got our bacon going. And the good thing about bacon is, you do it low and slow. It might take longer, but it's going to taste better. Oh, some people really like burnt bacon. They like the taste of it. I used to be someone who really liked that. I was like, I don't care, it's bacon. But as time goes on, I realize I'm like, no, not so much anymore. Now I kind of like this. But what we'll move on to as well is as the bacon cooks, I like to make sure that I keep the bread as dry as possible. So what I would put down first, may as well just do this now. I'm going to put down some lettuce on one side. 1, 2, and 3. And then on the other, for mine, 1, 2, 3. And then what I want to do is I want to put my tomatoes down. Let me check on the bacon real fast though. It does start to get going fast all of a sudden. Alright, well, that one looks pretty done. This guy needs to come in the middle here. Again, you want to render down that fat as much as possible. This guy's pretty much done. So once you see one that, I think he can go a little bit longer. I don't know why I genderize my meat. Say he or she. Doesn't make a whole lot of sense, but I do. And sometimes it's good to personalize, like, oh, I want you to be perfect. Sort of a parental sort of thing, I think. Alright, so it's starting to look good. What we're going to do is then I'll put the tomato slices, 1. Actually, put that one on my 1, 2, 3. Nice big slices. 1, 2, 3. I'll take that one. And then this way, see, the tomato actually gets kind of caught up in this. And then what we'll do after is I'll set the bacon right on top of here. Because that's what we want. We want the bacon to not overpower anything. And we want the bacon to sit right on top of that. And that way any of the greases or anything doesn't really get into the bread, but you don't want the tomato to be on one side of the bread or the other. Once that happens, a lot of times things can go wrong. Alright, let's see what we got. I think some of these are ready to come off. Yeah, this one looks done to me. I'm going to move some of the ones that have not gotten as much into the middle and really get that other side. We've got that fat rendered way down. And it's a fun process. It really is. So I'm going to put this over the top again. Because right now I don't have any grease splatter, which is nice. There are other times I've made these sandwiches and they get grease splatter all over the place. But it's nice to create something where you know that you've done something well. That it might have taken time, but then that taste is going to go so far. And it's wonderful that way. Alright. A lot of the splattering has gone down. It's not splattering as much. What's good about that, it means that this stuff is really getting close to being done. I like to get things as close to perfect as possible. Though there is nothing, perfection is nothing that can actually be attained, it can only be striven for. Because once you think you've done the perfect thing, you can do it again and find out that, hey, I did even better that next time. So let's not ever doubt ourselves. Let's let ourselves continue. But you gotta look at it. That is some beautiful sizzling bacon. Alright. And this one's pretty much dry. It's got good give. So we know we didn't cook it too much. There's still that meatiness in it. But you do want to get out as much fat as possible. Some of these bigger slices, they're going to take a little bit longer. So I think this guy, or this person, they're done. And move some of these more to the outside, the ones that are closer to being done. Get some of these bigger pieces down here in the middle. But take your time with it, I mean, right now, well, especially since, well, it's the weekend for me right now, so. But take your time with it. That's why I like low and slow. I'm going to get ready because these are almost done. And it's fun to cook. I can't wait till we get back to program and we can do a lot of this stuff together and really have a good time with it. Yasmin's made some wonderful dishes, and it's really helpful. And she's taught me a lot of things that I didn't think I'd be able to learn, like how to roll different things. Like her egg rolls and things like that. Like, I didn't know how to do it. And I realized that it's not as hard as you make it out to be until you try it. And it's always good to have somebody to help you. But see how bubbly they are? So bubbly. And look at that. It's just bubbling. It's dripping with fat. Hence, making sure that you get some of that fat off of there. Alright. I think, let's see which ones need to cook more. You and you. You're done. You're done. You're done. Man, I call it all good. I'm going to take these off. I'm going to let them sit. Really cool off on the plate. Make sure we turn off our burner. I'm going to give this a quick Alright, I'm going to put my bacon back in the fridge and then we'll be at our last step. Alright, now what I want to do is, this bottom part has gotten definitely down, but I can still see on the top here that there's lots of bacon grease. So we're just going to go through and pat that off. Alright. Alright, some good looking bacon. I'm happy with it. Alright, so they're patted off. Throw that one away. And we're going to go 1, 1, 2, 2, 3, 3. We want to be fair. 4, 4, 5, 5, 5. Now we've got ourselves a wonderful sandwich. Put my plate down. Give me a moment. I'm going to wash my hands. Always wash the hands. And then you have yourself a fantastic looking BLT. Got your bacon, your lettuce, your tomato. It's all ready to go, ready to eat. I can't wait to eat one of these sandwiches with y'all. Peace. Miss ya. Bye.